So my high school varsity football team went completely undefeated this year and ended up playing in the state finals. Now I've been playing football since I was 5, and I really want to play football in the state finals someday. But I play freshman football, and there are no state finals till you hit varsity. So the only way I would get to go along was as a member of the marching band. And what's more is, you get to go to Detroit and walk on the same field where the Detroit Lions play. I've been to Detroit tons of times, but I still notice every time I pass 8 Mile. Say what you want, I really like that movie. The Detroit Tigers play at Comerica Park, right in downtown Detroit. I'm not a big baseball fan, but Mickey and I still like the place. Do you remember that hugely popular Super Bowl commercial from a couple years ago? It was the imported from Detroit spot for Chrysler where Eminem drives around Detroit and ends up wandering into a theater looking all fierce as a choir of singers act like Eminem wanders in all the time. Well, that was the Fox Theater, and it's right next door to the stadium where the Tigers play. This shot is mine from later on the night of the game. On the other side of Comerica Park is where the Lions play, at Ford Field. This to me is incredibly cool.
It's pretty exciting in here.
Notice how Mickey is kind of taking point in this episode. As my family was arriving at Ford Field, I was already in my seat right down by the field. So my high school didn't win. We were ahead and about to put the win out of reach of the other team when a player on the other side caught a game-saving catch when the ball had bounced off the ground and into his hands. The officials called it a fair catch when video later showed it was not. People have called it the worst call in football in the last 15 years. But there's no replay in high school football, so there is nothing that could be done. Your win was tainted, Grand Rapids West, and you know it. Oh yeah, I also marched with the band on the field. I like playing with the band, and I really like the people in the band. It's a lot of fun, and I think I'm pretty good at it. But when you see that the uniform makes my toned and muscular butt look like this, you'd be right to believe I'd like just a little more to be wearing my football pads than my uniform. The loss was heartbreaking. Later on, I sat in my room ready to drown my sorrows with a new drink for me. I could really go for some Julmust right now. This bottle may say Christmas soda on it, but in a smaller font, it's described by its proper name, Julmust. Julmust is a Swedish word that means either Christmas berry juice or Christmas pine pitch, or whatever a Swede wants to tell you it means. You listen to whatever that Swede tells you. Gah, you'd think someone who's so good at video games could work a bottle opener better than this. But no, apparently not. The bottle cap goes in my collection in case the world of Fallout comes to me. It smells a little medicinal. Yeah, it smells enough medicinal that I'm going to let just enough slip into my mouth. Slowly, and then swallow. Slowly, slowly. The taste is a bit fruity. Slightly appley. With hints of citrus and other subtle flavors. A little like grape. And a little like cough syrup. It's so popular in Sweden around Christmas time. Yeah, cough syrup. That evidently Coca-Cola, finding themselves outsold, started making their own version. My incredible disappointment at the unfairness of the outcome of the football game didn't end that night. That same weekend, I ended up at my grandma's house, out in the middle of the wilderness, with a bottle of Glögg. Glögg is a Scandinavian drink that is essentially heavily spiced wine, and it's particularly popular during the holidays. This version is made with grape juice, and not wine. So tell Carrie Nation and her hatchet-swinging goon squad that they can keep me off their radar. I wasn't raised by prudes, by the way. I could taste the real stuff if I wanted, but I'm not going to do that on camera. Spiced wine has been around about as long as wine has, but sometime in the early 1500s, King Gustav I of Sweden became fond of a version of it that would come to be called Glödgårdvin, or glowing hot wine. From Glödgårdvin, you end up with Glögg. Makes sense. Okay, beautiful Scandinavian people, tell me I'm supposed to lightly warm it up in a pot in the stove or over a roaring fire. I know you're right, but in a pinch, microwaves can do these simple things. Smells like cinnamon and cloves. Smells like what's in it. How unusual. Burned my tongue, just thought I'd say. It's definitely Christmassy. Yeah, I'm hiding it pretty well. Cloves and cinnamon, fruity, nutmeg. It's good. Sure, it's not like I'm drinking wild boar's blood. It's just spiced grape juice. But it's seasonally appropriate. I guess it's a Glögg kind of afternoon in Michigan.